Don't worry, it's live.
Start recording? Okay.
World records. Wait.
Hello, everyone. Who is here for the writing workshop? Wow. Okay. What are your names?
I'm Dane. Harry.
Ari?
Harry.
Harry.
Steve.
Steve. Star?
Ian.
Ian. Are you here for the writing workshop?
Yes.
What is your name?
Justin.
Justin. I'm Megan. I'm the writing director. This is Intro to Game Writing. We're streaming, as you probably could tell from the absolute chaos 2 seconds ago. I don't have the Twitch stream open on my computer. I doubt there's anyone listening right now. So, stories. As writers, I think we can agree that they're like important. They matter. They're pretty neat, right? But game writing is a little bit different. There's interactivity, which is something that you don't get from novels unless you're reading like a choose your own adventure book. And even then it's kind of like guided interactivity. You don't get it from novels or film or comics. But in games, the player is the main character. The player has the agency. And that makes game writing unique, and it has unique challenges. But you get cool things like audio and visual assets, kind of like in film. But the player gets to move around them, inspect them, and it's pretty neat. It can help build with visual storytelling, which is pretty nice. I think we'll be going over visual storytelling later. But what does a game writer do to create all of this stuff? We figure out stories and narratives. So we'll we're in charge of obviously writing the dialogue, fleshing out the characters, all of the stuff that you would generally think of with writing. We outline the plot. We world build. Sorry, this is my first group speaking thing for a very long time. Thank you. So, and we also do flavor text. So when you walk up to an item and click it, that's the flavor text. And you can use that for some really interesting stuff. It's really helpful for immersion. Challenges. Scope. You're going to be hearing a lot about scope if you are in this club at all, at any point in time. Stories are difficult to scope because when you're writing on your own, you can do basically whatever you want. But when you're writing with a team that has to take your writing and program the story that you wrote, draw art for the story that you wrote, make audio assets for the story that you wrote, suddenly your charming cast of 5 characters is very out of hand, and it's going to slow everything down. So that's what scoping is words are cheap for us, but they cost so much for our team who has to actually make those words real. Some games have more space for stories than others. How many of you were at pitch night? Okay, a couple of you. So did you notice that some of the games had story-driven or stuff like that? Hotel Red, the game that I'm on, is an RPG, which is almost entirely story and puzzles. So there's a lot of work for a writer to do and a lot of plotting and character work that goes into the very bones of the game. Compare that to Luke's game, Vampire Weekend. It's just a Metroidvania where, you run around the stage, you jump, you kill monsters. There's less room for writing in that. You can still have it, because obviously Castlevania, Metroid, they have stories, but they're less story dense. Thank you.
Greetings.
Hello.
Greetings.
Are you here for the writing workshop?
Yep,
Well,
I am late.
it is. Okay, we will be posting the slides that you missed
Okay.
later. I could probably go through the basics. Basically, game writing, different than other writing because players are the main character and they do things.
All right.
And the main characters, and you don't have control of the player. That's
No.
the main problem. And we write the world and the characters and the dialogue and all of the flavor text and stuff. That's what we do. Which brings us, so some games, visual novels, RPGs, Twine games, which is basically choose your own adventure, but you've made it on a computer.
Okay.
We will talk about Twine games at a later date, and it will be fun. Also, the mechanics and the narrative are connected, which is something you don't have to worry about in a lot of other mediums. But in game writing, you run the risk of the world not feeling immersive if, say, your designer has decided one of our main mechanics is that we get to kill things, stab it with a sword. Then you, the writer, say, I think that my character is going to be a pacifist who loves peace and will never kill anything. You have to make sure that your story matches the mechanics. So that's another thing. Yes?
Stream died.
Stream died.
Kind of troubleshooting.
Okay.
Also, that has a word, right?
Troubleshoot?
Narrative dissonance.
Yes, ludonarrative dissonance is what it's called.
That used to be a buzzword.
Yes, people fought wars over this apparently.
They very much so did.
It was a big deal. I think they're all silly. And I have my own opinions, and it's correct.
You are the narrator.
Hmm? I do, I have a cape. Are we good?
We'll see.
Shrug? Okay. We won't be talking about ludonarrative dissonance in any of the workshops this quarter, because this is like the basics quarter to get everyone like situated in game writing. But we did talk about it in spring, so
It's a whole thing.
it's a whole thing. So if you stick around until spring, we'll talk about ludonarrative dissonance, and it's fun.
Yay.
Okay. We can do an activity now.
Can I have a question
Yes.
about the mechanics thing?
Okay.
Do writers direct mechanics or other way around?
It depends on your team composition, honestly. In my experience, a lot of the times, it's usually the designer or the programmer that's in charge. So generally the programmer, you'll be brought onto a team and they'll tell you, this is what we're doing. This is a basic idea of the story. Please make it happen. Sometimes you get more leeway. If your team lead is a writer, then generally they'll probably have. What was the question again?
Does writer have a lot of control over mechanics?
Okay, yes. Sometimes is the answer. If you have an issue that you really think you need this mechanic or you need a mechanic changed, you can talk to your team lead, talk to your designers. Yes.
Sooner is better.
Sooner is better.
Yeah.
Please talk to them quickly, because otherwise they will design and program and art things, and audio things. Your whole team will start moving. And the longer you wait to bring up your issue, the more work they will have to scrap if they go along with your idea.
And the more they will hate you if they scrap things.
The more they will hate you.
I'm primarily a programmer, mostly because none of the games I've been on have needed any story. Because every time I'm like, I'm a writer, and they're like, cool, we don't need a writer.
Yeah, go program something.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to rewrite a story than it is to recode a game. So like, most of the time the limitations are the programmers say, here's what we can and can't do, write a story based around that. And that's just a limitation of a student-run organization especially with VGDC being programmer heavy.
Yeah.
So, an extension of that question.
Yes.
So, either dependency on GDD and your writing. So like, which one come first? Or can one of them come first? Or which one usually come first?
Once again, it depends on, especially in our club, who has pitched the idea.
Okay.
If the team lead is more design heavy, they will probably have a GDD first. That's not to say that they haven't thought of the story or thought about the story, but because we have so few writers and many more designers and programmers, generally the GDD will come first, unless you guys are the ones pitching, in which case the story can come first. You have the power when you're the team lead.
Nice.
All right,
Can write now.
right now?
We can write now.
We can write now. Okay. Oh, this is not my slideshow. I'm using Riley's. Okay, things that we will be doing during this quarter. We're going to be talking about narrative structure, world documents, character documents, and screenplay format. These are like essentials. Screenplay format is I think it's next week actually. It's industry standard way to write things. Narrative structure, very helpful. We will talk more about scope in narrative structure. World and character documents, helpful for designers and artists especially. Concepts, environmental storytelling, and dialogue. And we'll also go over things like twine, very fun. Case studies, and we'll do like practice and activities, like what we're doing right now, hopefully. But if you guys want to talk about anything else, hit me up. I have a couple weeks, midterms week and finals week, where we will have like just decompression meetings, because no one wants to learn anything midterms week and finals week. Absolutely no one. And I don't want to teach anything midterms week and finals week. So during that time, we will be able to have discussions based on things that have come up in previous meetings, or just talk about a game you like. So yeah, but
Or just write random things.
yeah, exactly. Just do whatever you want. If you want me to talk about something, or my co-officer, who is not here right now, just hit me up after a meeting, or ping us on Discord, something like that. We will totally accommodate you. This is all flexible. Riley, please let us write now.
I think you passed the writing slide.
What?
I think you passed the writing slide.
Are you kidding? Oh my god. You're right.
There you go.
No. Oh no.
I should have said that before you started talking.
You. Okay, so writing activity. So we have one input for our game. Just one button, one mechanic. On a piece of paper, we're going to write a game with that one mechanic, a mood, or tone. So we've got some sample matchups. Early autumn is like the mood or tone, kind of like what we're having right now, but maybe a bit more idyllic and not quite as dry and Santa Ana windsy. And the mechanic here would be meet friend, something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Be free.
Oh, we're just gonna come up with those ideas ourselves?
Do you want to like come up with a group idea?
Is big mood an acceptable mood?
Sure.
Let's move.
Let's
You know
have
what?
group ideas.
Yes, it is. Okay, so
I should have said that.
Dane has put forward big mood as a mood.
What is a big mood?
It's just a big mood, you know?
Okay.
You feel the mood and you're like, oh, that's a big one.
Okay. That's weird.
Oh my god. This only took 15 minutes.
Try to talk slowly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to learn to talk slower.
You already talk so slow.
Really?
Yeah.
It's well paced.
Thank you, I'm glad. This is
Alright.
my first workshop.
Nice. Okay, are we gonna come up with?
I don't think that's not really a mood in itself. It's just an adjective to describe I relate
What's
to
the
that.
one input? Like press X to shotgun a beer.
What was it, Kyle?
Not with that attitude. It can be.
You're
Yeah.
right, it can be.
I have the basis of something if you want to run with that, or come up with what big mood means to you.
See, big mood is contextual.
You're right.
Anything can be big mood.
Big.
Okay, then choose something and make it a big mood.
If you see a squirrel driving a half-eaten piece of bread, that
That's a
can be
big
big
mood.
Yeah.
So if that squirrel
big
is
mood of what?
donning a full suit of armor and dragging it across the battlefield, that becomes a big mood. Context.
Oh, we're gonna come up with the mechanics ourselves? Okay.
If you want. If you would like to have the mechanics support your theme, that could help. Or I could assign you a mechanic and you have to make it work.
Please.
Okay. The mechanic I have decided is dance.
Oh no. Okay.
Press F to dance.
Oh no. Why not press D?
Press D to dance.
If you're a programmer, don't ever hard cut the button.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Right, the controller.
If you hard cut anything, I will hit you.
Thank you, Henry.
Greetings.
Hey, here. I've been writing on paper for years.
Right? You don't have to take a piece of paper.
But you said a piece of paper, so I'm already ready to it.
You know, I should learn not to take Riley's instructions. Oh, you know what? We could probably end the stream right here.
What?
What? That's it. Thanks for coming.
That's it. Thanks for coming.
15 minutes later.
Yeah, 15 minutes.